and it took place in the Carolina Panthers New York Jets game. And I didn't watch the whole game, but what I did see on the NFL replay on NFL Network, thank you by the way, was the the third quarter and the fourth quarter, and in the by one point by the end of the third quarter, I want to say it was, there had been 3 personal foul penalties, flags thrown, all in this one group of guys, and it was all Josh Norman, defensive back, going at it with Odell Beckham Jr. To try and sum it up in a nutshell, in a giant nutshell, help, I'm trapped in this giant nutshell. Old Dirty Bastard Jr. got just, he fell apart, like he mentally collapsed, broke down, just lost it, snapped. No idea of obviously Josh Norman had been, saying stuff, and, I'm sure he's got chippy little technique stuff that he tries to get away with when he can. That's every football player at every position, so anything physical, there was nothing physical done by Josh Norman to warrant any sort of, real violent physical retaliation. But we don't know what was all said. But still, with sticks and stones, may break my bones, words never hurt me. I mean, come on, you're a professional athlete, you're the face, you're one of the young new faces of the league, you're on the cover of Madden. But anyway, Josh Norman got under his skin, got Odell Beckham to snap, and literally play after play after play after play, it was just the second the ball was snapped, these two guys ran at each other and trying to fight, trying to hurt each other. And that was all they were doing in the play. They weren't even doing their part in the football play. They would just like, okay, I'm checking out of the play, you're checking out of the play, and we're just going to stand here and fight till the whistle blows again. Ultimately ended up with Odell Beckham Jr. launching his head, helmet first, crown of his helmet, into the head of Josh Norman multiple times. I saw it twice. Josh Norman, luckily, neither time was seriously hurt. And watching it back, it's crazy that he wasn't seriously hurt. Like, whatever helmet Josh Norman is wearing, that's the helmets that the quarterbacks need to be wearing. Those things are like concussion proof or something. But OBJ just snaps. He's ripping his helmet off on the field after plays, yelling at people. No flags being thrown for that. And then when the flags would be thrown for what him and Norman were doing, it was just after the play, personal foul on this guy, personal foul on that guy, both penalties offset, next down. So nothing happened. And they just kept letting them do it over and over. The refs kept letting them do it. It was, it became uneasy watching it in the replay. If I would have been watching it live, I would have been genuinely scared for one of these people's lives, or to see a horribly ugly, violent act live on TV in front of all kinds of millions and billions of people. Now, here is where it gets, where it's a story, where people really care about it is, so what happens next? NFL suspended Odell Beckham Jr. for 1 game following his actions, and rightfully so. I felt like a more than 1 game suspension. I would have handled 2 games. I would have handled, rest of the year. Like, it was, you can't have a player ever taking it in their own hands and doing what he did this past week. But of course, that being said, Odell appeals his suspension, which I could not disagree with more. If you haven't seen what he did, look it up. YouTube it, Google search it, whatever you need to do. Watch what he did, the multiple things he did. Not just the one big hit, the multiple things. how he could even come out and appeal that suspension, I mean, was beyond me. He was way in the wrong the entire time, and should have just, I'm not going to appeal this. I was wrong. I'm sorry, and it won't happen again. That's not who I am, and I understand. I've learned, But no, in typical young, arrogant, superstar, mega millionaire, fashion, he appeals, and I just retweeted all over the place from multiple sources the news that Odell Beckham's appeal has been declined. He lost, so he is suspended for one game. That one game this Sunday night, national television, against my and possibly your Minnesota Vikings. Excuse me. Good news for the Vikings, bad news for the league, as ratings will definitely not be as good with ODB Jr. not playing. This is what I was talking to Barrero about on Bumper to Bumper, wondering if, since that was the game that had got flexed just a couple weeks ago to be the Sunday night game, if NBC had any power or ability to, unflex it and get a different game. He said no, there is a 2-week deadline for that where it's locked in. So if anybody's upset, about the ratings or anything like that, or that this isn't the game that should be the Sunday night game, then blame NBC for picking the wrong game 2-3 weeks ago. Never was this the game that should have been the Sunday night game. You realize that the Cardinals play the Packers, and that the Cardinals have been in second place in the NFC all year, and the Packers have been, they're the Packers, so they're competing for their division and the other wild card spot all season. They're bigger market teams with two superstar quarterbacks. And why the heck didn't NBC just pick the Packers-Cardinals game in the first place? So yeah, if it's end up low ratings, NBC can only be mad at themselves, and the NFL should be mad at NBC for picking the wrong game in the first place, as I mentioned. But yes, I had heard rumblings earlier in the week that ODB's suspension was going to be overturned and that he would in fact be playing, and this made me irate. That fired me up, super fired up, because you can't do that. This guy could have put it this way, okay? Had Josh Norman suffered a concussion, serious head injury, neck injury, as a result of Odell Beckham's violent actions towards him, how would everybody be feeling and responding then? He should be out for the year, Like, the intent of the act and the act itself should be what determines the punishment, not the consequence of said actions with, said intent. He had this horrible intent and he did this horrible thing, but ultimately nothing too bad came of it, so we can take it easy on him. That's ridiculous. Okay? So then in vice versa, then when something terrible happens to someone, but it was a total accident and there was no intent, still gonna, tear them apart. It's just frustrating. Having any NFL disciplinary actions is beyond frustrating. It's like pulling teeth. And the CBA, the Players Union, the league, they need to get things settled this offseason where everything is just concrete. Here are our conduct, rules, policies, punishments. We need to be able to enforce this stuff when it comes up, because just our league's a joke. We can't punish anybody for anything. You literally have to kill somebody, or have, come close to killing somebody and have it on videotape, to get punished in the NFL these days. That's literally what it takes. Or, fail a UA, take steroids. Oh God, not a human growth hormone that might make him a 1,000th of a second faster, or it might make him 5 pounds stronger in his bench pressing. Like, yeah, that's such terrible freaking stuff. But being openly violent and hateful towards another human being on live television broadcast in front of millions and billions of people, yeah, whatever. One game, the guy didn't get hurt too bad. It's no big deal. Maybe we won't even do that one game. Can't believe where some people are at with this issue. Anybody who stands up for Odell on this, you're just dead wrong. I know people are young. I know people make mistakes. Believe me, I know that as good as anybody. But this guy's true colors came out, and he is a thug. I'm going to flat out say it right now. Odell Beckham Jr., you are a thug. And until you prove otherwise, well, you can't prove otherwise because it is what you are. That's like asking the sun to prove that it's not the sun. You are a thug. That's not to say you will always be a thug. You can learn and grow and change in your ways. I will give you that. But at this point in your life and in your career, you are a thug that has been revealed. And it happened in the game last week, and now it also happened again with your quote-unquote apologies following your lost appeal. Odell just maintains the whole I'm a giant douchebag, I'm a thug. You all got to see the real me now. In his apologies, check them out if you haven't seen them yet. I've retweeted them on Twitter. That's at BDST Show. Yeah, this guy's just scum, and I'm so glad that he's, going to be out for at least, he's getting at least some kind of suspension. I'm glad that he's been exposed, even though I love watching him play the game of football. The guy is a human highlight machine. But character is not this guy's strong point. He's not the jersey that you want to be buying for your kid, ever. This is not just a one-time fluke incident, whatever type of thing. Like I said, this is I see your true colors shining through. Odell Beckham, you are a douche, and I'm not afraid to call you a thug after I see your true colors. True colors. See, boom. Yeah. How you like that, everybody? Merry Christmas. All right. You know what? It is freaking Christmas. Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve here right now as I'm doing the show. Let's get... That's it. Balls on fire. Just out instantly. Done. Put it out. No more negativity. Let's keep it to positive thought, positive talk or analytical talk. As like I said, it's Christmas. We should be in a good mood. So screw you, Odell Beckham Jr. You're getting at least a little bit of what you deserve, and we're moving on. That's right. So we're staying in the NFL. Balls on fire's out. Odell Beckham Jr.'s out. Ha. And we're going to the purple vein. Purple vein. Ow. All right, that's our Vikings talk for the week. Shortening the song because we're shortening the episode. So, again, Vikings destroy the Bears this week mainly I think because I was in attendance. I'm a good luck charm, pretty sure. They beat the division rival Chicago Bears. Bears, 38-17 at TCF Bank Stadium. This Sunday night's game against the New York Giants will be the final Vikings game played in TCF Bank Stadium. Final regular season game played in TCF Bank Stadium. However, if we win the division, it won't be the last game we play there, which is very possible. Very, very possible that we win the division. But yes, 38-17, Teddy Bridgewater totaled 5 touchdowns, 4 through the air, 1 on the ground, only 230-some yards, so it wasn't like he was throwing the ball all over the place. But I want to say it was like 17-20, something like that. Only threw a small handful of incompletions. Statistically, his best game as a quarterback, his QBR was like 154 point something and 158.3. is perfect. So Teddy played out of his mind